Hello, guys. Welcome to a scenario where Japan forms an empire. And like just said, we'll be seeing Japan form an empire. Firstly, we see Japan declaring war on North Korea as they are the weaker of the two Koreas. Battle will go pretty quickly. Japan will make a naval landing in the northern areas of North Korea, and North Korea will quickly fall and will become fully annexed. We then see Japan actually going after Taiwan. This battle also go rather quickly. It was uh, pretty much instantly. Taipei is captured, and once again, full annexation. Next country we see Japan declaring war on is going to be the Philippines. And I think North Korea is the strongest opponent Japan's faced so far. But Japan will make a naval landing onto the main island of the Philippines. What I'd consider the main island. And the battle will go pretty quickly. However, Japan will only be taking the northern areas of, of the Philippines, but this will include their capital city. I think. Here's the current map of Japan. Now, Japan will be going after South Korea. This South Korea is easily the strongest opponent Japan has faced so far. But with Japan being buffed for this video, it will still go rather quickly. We see Japan making a large push from North Korea, but then being blockaded by a wall of South Korean soldiers. Japan will then make a small uh, naval landing in South Korea, as well as capturing this island. I think it's Jeju. Japan will fully cut off South Korea from their eastern coastline, and eventually they will capture the whole thing. And once again, South Korea will just be fully annexed. This first time I'm gonna have to remove a border, but there we have. Now we'll be moving across the Pacific Ocean, and we see Japan declaring war on Canada. All countries. Maybe they just need maple syrup or something. But we see Japan making their first landing after a couple days, making their first landing on this island. Eventually, they'll make it landing on Vancouver Island and the general British Columbia area. We'll move north along the American border, and eventually they'll capture Vancouver as well. The only reason this battle will be taking a while is because of just how big Canada is. These areas will be important. Then we see Japanese troops going from here all the way down through the Panama Canal, up and making a landing right in Newfoundland. Eventually, it won't take long for the entire island to fall, and a similar thing happens with this area here as well. So eventually, Japan will cross the St. Lawrence River. Never thought that would ever happen, but we see Japan moving north in this area. Japan will be able to Japan will fully cut off Canada from any assistance from Alaska, but Canada will still be getting small of supplies from the USA from the south. So that will be Japan's new goal, is to completely cut off Canada from the USA. But they will end up just capturing Ottawa instead, and Canada will surrender. And for this peace treaty here, we see that Japan will be claiming over quite a decent area. They will not be claiming anything in the eastern parts, though. But they will be claiming about all of this. I'm going back to Japan real quick. So Japan will be getting all of this, as well as this island and Vancouver Island and these other islands. Okay. The next thing we see Japan doing is actually going to be gaining an ally. This ally is going to be India. And this will be big because Japan and India will declare war on China. China will, though, however, Pakistan involved in this. So it's fair 2v2. You see India being able to quickly push up into the northern or western parts of China and being able to capture most of the Kashmir region. Here, India will then send tons of troops into Pakistan, eventually being able to capture the entire coastline of the country and slowly creep in onto Pakistan. Over here, India will make a small push north from right here, and a slightly larger push from this panhandle here. Over in East Asia general area, you see Japan moving through Korea with ease. Or not Korea, uh, northern China. They'll make a couple naval landings. The first one being right here, and the second one being over by where Taiwan the Philippines are. Alright, yeah. Okay. We then see Japan being able to almost entirely capture the Yellow Sea, but China will still have this area left. But we do see Japan making another naval landing over here and being able to connect it up with their first. They'll then move along the Chinese border with a lot of Southeast Asian countries and being able to meet up with India. They'll then move up the coastline, eventually being able to cut China off from, or almost cut China off from any China, from any Pacific access. Well, they will be able to capture these areas, and they'll work on trying to capture the entirety of Manchuria. But here we see China getting an ally in this war, which is going to be Russia. And initially, we see Japan having the upper hand in this, with them already having some troops over here, so they will be able to send them into Russian territory. But Russia will be able to then make a push into the northernmost island of Japan, which is the first time Japan is being invaded this far. Eventually, Russian soldiers will make it onto mainland Japan, and Japan will send out a ton of troops from China to help fight against Russia. But doing this basically leads to China being able to, and Russia being able to recapture a lot of their lands, although China won't be able to entirely push back from in these southern areas. But Japan will be able to fully push up Russian territory, and they will send some troops back over to China to continue fighting, eventually this time capturing the entire Chinese coastline. Back over to India. We see India fully capturing over Pakistan and being able to make a larger single front. And here we see Japan getting more allies to help out in this war. Finland, the three Baltic states, Poland, and Ukraine, as well as Georgia, all be declaring war against Russia. I'm not going to be including. I'm not going to be including NATO for this because these countries are declaring war. Nobody was declared war on. But quickly, Kaliningrad fall over, and we see Ukraine being able to capture Crimea as well as some of their other areas and of Russia's other areas. Georgia will actually be able to make quite a big push into Russia, and Finland will have a long push right into Russian territory. They'll be extremely close to capturing St. Petersburg, and Poland, as well as the Baltics, will push up into capturing St. Petersburg. With all this happening, Russia is going to withdraw a ton of their troops from over here, which leads to Japan capturing this entire island, as well as the Kuril Islands, and making a landing in this peninsula. They'll also be able to capture all of this land here. Japan will then push further into middle of China, I guess you could call it, and Japan will be able to capture all of this land. Eventually, China will surrender over, and India, now having anyone to fight, will be sending all of their troops over directly to one small point, which is right here, and we see a massive, um, massive push of Indian, Pakistan, some very small amounts of Pakistani and Japanese soldiers pushing into this area here. Will then be able to connect up with their pushes into far east of Russia, and here Russia is going to surrender over. And here, see the largest peace treaty. And here we have our peace treaty. I'll start over from Europe and make my way towards Japan. Finland will be getting all of this. Estonia, that. Latvia, that. But Lithuania will be getting the smallest amount of everyone. And Poland will be getting all of that. Just gotta remove old borders, I should say. Finland's gonna take a bit. Mm, So, I do want to talk about something for my Wixa series. Just kind of promoting it. If anyone wants to own a country, I do have an option for that available. Just comment what country you want to own, and I'll likely be able to give it to you within the next couple episodes. But just something I figured I'd bring up since I haven't been mentioning it that past couple episodes. Another thing I should probably bring up is I will be going on a vacation pretty soon, so there will be quite a few pre-recorded videos over that. Maybe even some days where I might not all upload. So this is our new Europe. Russia ended up losing some extremely valuable coastline, which would have been which Russia lost some valuable coastline, which would have been right in this area down here. Moving on, Europe, see, India can get actually quite a bit of land. They gain all of these bits here. Hmm. And India. Okay. And lastly, we'll have oh, dang it. Okay, I'll have to fix would be border. Have to have Japan get all the lands that they know. All these countries look just really weird now. I think Georgia probably looks the closest to what it originally looked like. I did this border. Japan will be claiming something that looks like this, making Russia lose out on the top valuable coastline. They'll also be claiming. So, and Japan will finally get their claim over the Faroe Islands. Oh, maybe. Okay, there we go. But Japan agreed to give China some coastline. So they have that tiny little bit of coastline left. But now, turning off all the other nations. Color. This is our final map. What if Japan makes an empire? If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.